A landmark report of the World Commission on Environment and Development, entitled Our Common Future, warned that unless we change many of our lifestyle patterns, the world will face unacceptable levels of environmental damage and human suffering. As far as our country is concerned, this is absolutely correct. One of the primary causes of environmental degradation could be attributed to rapid growth of population, which adversely affects both the natural resources and environment. The rapid growing population and economic development is leading to a number of environmental issues in India. This uncontrolled growth of population has led in turn to urbanization and industrialization, and ultimately the destruction of forests. These environmental issues are becoming more and more serious by every passing day, and it is high time we concentrate on these serious issues. In today's topic, we will cover some of these environmental issues.
Hello students, ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ environmental issues ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। The word environment is of broad spectrum which brings within its field clean atmosphere and ecological balance. It is therefore not only the duty of the state but also the duty of every citizen to maintain hygienic environment. Article 21 of the Constitution of India reflects right to life as a fundamental right, and therefore enjoyment of life and its attainment, including the right to life with human dignity, fall within its ambits. The need of the hour is protection and preservation of environment. Life cannot be enjoyed without pollution-free air and water and proper sanitation. Pollution of environment, ecological degradation by polluting the air and water can be regarded as violation of Article 21. Therefore, hygienic environment is an integral aspect of right to healthy life. Recently, the Supreme Court had made many landmark judgments for the preservation of environment, wildlife, forest, etc., as our environment is continuously affected due to human activities. Today we will discuss such environmental issues dealing with solid waste, radioactive waste, and agrochemicals. So, let us start with solid waste.
Solid wastes. Solid wastes include all discarded, non-liquid materials from household, streets, industrial and commercial establishments, etc., that do not have value to the user. In a nutshell, we can say that all discarded solid items which are not in use or do not have the potentiality of use in the future are known as solid wastes. Solid waste is a heterogeneous mixture. It includes garbage, kitchen waste, paper, fabric, plastic, wood, metals, hospital waste, rubber tires, automobile parts, crop residue, glass, broken or discarded household appliances, etc. All these are categorized as solid wastes.
Students, solid waste ਨੂੰ ਕਲਾਸੀਫਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕੋਈ ਹਾਰਡ ਐਂਡ ਫਾਸਟ ਪ੍ਰਿੰਸੀਪਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਪਰ it has been classified differently under different themes as per the application. ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਐਸਪੈਕਟਸ ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਤੇ ਕਲਾਸੀਫਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਸੋਲਿਡ ਵੇਸਟ ਦੇ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਟਾਈਪਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣੀਏ। ਸੋਲਿਡ ਵੇਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਦੋ ਟਾਈਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਲਾਸੀਫਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ, ਰੂਰਲ ਸੋਲਿਡ ਵੇਸਟ ਅਤੇ ਅਰਬਨ ਸੋਲਿਡ ਵੇਸਟ। ਆਓ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਰੂਰਲ ਸੋਲਿਡ ਵੇਸਟ ਬਾਰੇ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰੀਏ।
Any waste which is generated in rural areas is known as rural solid waste. It contains food waste, animal waste, human waste, rubbish items, etc. Most of the waste is organic and biodegradable. Or we can say, in rural areas, solid waste usually includes food waste, animals waste, farmyard waste, human waste, rubbish, etc. In rural areas, people don't separate waste according to the nature of the waste. They simply dispose of the waste at a distant place on the periphery of the village. The waste may undergo composting or sometime may be burned. There are several types of rural solid waste. Let's know some of their common types. Types of rural solid wastes: food waste, animals waste, farmyard waste, human waste, rubbish.
Students, ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ urban solid waste ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ any solid waste or discarded item which is thrown to the garbage or dustbin in urban area and it requires some treatment for decomposition is known as urban solid waste. Urban solid waste ਕਈ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੈਟੇਗਰਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। Types of urban solid waste: industrial waste, domestic waste, municipal waste, constructional waste and hospital waste. ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਵੇਸਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਡੇਂਜਰਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ-ਨਾਲ ਮਨੁੱਖਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਬਿਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਵੀ ਬਣਦੇ ਹਨ। ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਅਲ ਵੇਸਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਉਹ ਵੇਸਟ ਹਨ ਜੋ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਜ਼ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਛੱਡੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ। ਕੁਝ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਜ਼ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਟੈਨਰੀਜ਼, ਸੋਪਸ, ਸਿੰਥੈਟਿਕ ਡਿਟਰਜੈਂਟਸ, ਗਲਾਸ, ਪਲਾਸਟਿਕ ਅਤੇ ਇਲੈਕਟ੍ਰੋਪਲੇਟਿੰਗ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀਜ਼ urban areas ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੇਸਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। For example, paper and pulp mills release effluents containing bits of bark, cellulose fibers, and a complex mixture of chemicals. Similarly, metallurgical industries releases waste like slag and scrap metal. As far as municipal waste is concerned, it consists of everyday items such as product packaging, paper, food waste like vegetable peels, plastic bags, metals, glass, ash, stones, rubber tires, etc. Overall, it consists of everyday household discarded items. पर एक important question ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ types ਦੇ waste ਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ manage ਜਾਂ minimize ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ। This process is basically a waste management. Waste management is the collection, transport, processing, recycling or disposal of waste materials. Waste management methods vary commonly between areas for many reasons, including type of waste material, nearby land uses, and the area available. There are several methods of waste management, but in every method, one thing is common, that is, segregation of waste.
Segregation of waste. In the primary stage, every individual should segregate the waste at the source of origin of waste. This kind of segregation can start from our houses, offices, blocks, and buildings. In this type of segregation, several colored garbage collectors bins are fixed on the particular place in the locality, such as separate bins for biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste like plastic waste, mixed waste, etc., along with the images and the names of the items. Then this garbage is directly collected by the waste collector vehicles. Sometimes garbage is also directly collected from houses by appointing the sweeper in that locality.
ਵੇਸਟ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਰੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਗਲਾ ਸਟੈਪ ਹੈ ਵੇਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਡੰਪ ਕਰਨਾ। ਇਸ ਸੋਲਿਡ ਵੇਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਨੀਵੇਂ ਏਰੀਆਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਡੰਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਕਾਲਡ ਐਜ਼ ਲੈਂਡ ਫਿਲਿੰਗ। As we know, proper segregation of waste would lead to better opportunities for its scientific disposal. Recyclable waste could be immediately transported to recycling units. Inert material could be sent to landfills. Next step है treatment of waste. Waste ਦੀ treatment ਅਤੇ disposal ਲਈ ਕਈ ਵਿਧੀਆਂ ਅਪਣਾਈਆਂ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਜਿਵੇਂ composting, vermicomposting, landfill disposal, incineration ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਕਈ ਸਾਇੰਟਿਫਿਕ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਸ ਹਨ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਵੇਸਟ ਦੀ ਟ੍ਰੀਟਮੈਂਟ ਲਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਆਲਮੋਸਟ 40% ਵੇਸਟ ਬਾਇਓਡੀਗ੍ਰੇਡੇਬਲ ਵੇਸਟ ਦੀ ਕੈਟੇਗਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਪੋਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਹੁਣ ਕੰਪੋਸਟਿੰਗ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ। ਇਹ ਵੇਸਟ ਯੂਟਿਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਥਡ ਹੈ। ਕੰਪੋਸਟਿੰਗ ਕੈਨ ਬੀ ਡਿਫਾਈਨਡ ਐਜ਼ decomposition of various organic matters by mixed population of bacteria in the moist, warm and aerobic environment is known as composting. Let us see how it is done.
Composting. As we know, there are various organic materials which are used as raw material in composting, such as plants, leaves, vegetables and fruit peel, etc. First, we take a wooden box with holes and mix the waste material in the box. After mixing the material, add some water into it. After adding the water, put the box in open space so that it can be exposed to sunlight. Solar heat, along with water, will speed up the decomposition process. Warm air provides oxygen to the heap. The microorganisms such as bacteria, yeasts and fungi present in the soil decompose the waste. After a month, it will be decomposed and the whole heap of waste will turn into dark and nutrient-rich compost manure. This compost manure is rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. When this compost is mixed with the soil, it improves the fertility of soil.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਪੋਸਟਿੰਗ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਸਟੈਪ ਹੈ incineration. It is a process of controlled combustion for burning of waste and residue containing combustible materials. ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ incineration ਇੱਕ waste treatment technology ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ organic materials ਜਾਂ substances ਦਾ combustion ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। Incineration ਅਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ high temperature waste treatment systems ਨੂੰ thermal treatment ਵਜੋਂ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਚਲੋ ਵਿਜ਼ੂਅਲਸ ਦੇ ਥਰੂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
Incineration process converts the waste materials into ash, gases, particulate matter and heat. This heat is also used to generate electric power. This process removes most of the pollutants. Thereafter, the gases are discharged into atmosphere. It reduces the volume of solid waste. It releases carbon dioxide, water vapors, ash and non-combustible items as end products. Incinerators reduce the volume of the original waste by 95 to 96%.
So students, these are some of the methods of waste management. After this, let us focus on another type of waste known as radioactive waste. According to the International Atomic Energy Agency, that is IAEA, radioactive waste is any material containing a concentration of radionuclides greater than those deemed safe by national authorities in materials appropriate for unchecked use and for which no use is foreseen. Radioactive waste arising from nuclear activities as well as from defense-related nuclear weapon activities poses an alarming problem for handling and protecting the environment to be safe to the present and future generations. Initially, nuclear energy has hailed as a non-polluting way for generating electricity. Later on, it was realized that the use of nuclear energy has two very serious inherent problems. The first is accidental leakage, as occurred in the 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl incidents. And the second is safe disposal of radioactive waste. Radiations that is given off by nuclear waste is extremely damaging to biological organisms because it causes mutations to occur at a very high rate. At high doses, nuclear radiation is lethal, but at lower doses, it creates various disorders, the most frequent of all being cancer. Therefore, nuclear waste is an extremely powerful pollutant and has to be dealt with utmost caution. In practical terms, these substances must be broken in such a way that the radionuclides present are contained until their radioactivity is extinguished, and so that substances forming a shield stop the emission of the ionizing radiation, which is potentially hazardous for living organisms. Two common types of radioactive pollutions or waste are natural radiations such as cosmic rays and man-made radiations. The sources of these radiations include mining and refining of plutonium and thorium, atomic reactors, and nuclear fuel. Methods of disposal include dumping concrete encased containers filled with radioactive waste in the oceans and burying the waste underground in old salt mines. Also, it has been recommended that storage of nuclear waste after sufficient pre-treatment should be done in suitably shielded containers buried within the rocks, about 500 meters deep below the Earth's surface. However, this method of disposal is meeting stiff opposition from the public. After studying about radioactive waste, let us now study the agrochemicals.
Agrochemicals. Agrochemical is a generic term for the various chemical products used in agriculture. In most cases, agrochemicals refers to the broad range of pesticides, including insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides. It may also include synthetic fertilizers, hormones, and other chemical growth agents, and concentrated stores of raw animal manure. Many important benefits are achieved by the use of these agrochemicals, such as increased yield of plant crops and less spoilage during storage. In combination with genetically improved varieties of crop species, agrochemicals have made important contributions to the success of the Green Revolution. This has helped to increase the food supply for the rapidly increasing population of humans on Earth. However, the use of these agrochemicals has also been associated with some important environmental and ecological damages. These, incidentally, are also toxic to non-target organisms that are important components of the soil ecosystem. Excessive use of fertilizers, for example, can lead to the contamination of groundwater, making it unfit for consumption by humans or livestock.
So students, इन्ना agrochemicals ਦੇ ਨਤੀਜੇ ਵਜੋਂ environmental problems ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ. Some of the worst examples of environmental damage caused by pesticides have been associated with the use of relatively persistent chemicals such as DDT. In North America, for example, millions of wild birds have been killed each year as a non-target effect of the routine use of carbofuran, an agricultural insecticide. This is a substantial ecological price to pay for the benefits associated with the use of that agrochemical. कुछ pesticides ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਜਾਤੀ ਲਈ ਵੀ risky ਹੈ. About 1 million pesticide poisonings occur globally every year, resulting in about 20,000 victims. There have been a few examples of pesticides causing extensive toxicity to humans. The most famous case occurred at Bhopal, India in 1984 in the vicinity of a factory that was concerned with manufacturing of an agriculture insecticide. In that case, there was an accidental release of deadly methyl isocyanate vapor to the atmosphere. This agrochemical related emission caused the deaths of about 3,000 people, and more than 20,000 others were seriously injured. Researchers are constantly searching for non-chemical ways of dealing with many of these agricultural needs. Much attention is being paid, for example, to develop organic methods of enhancing soil fertility and dealing with pests. Unfortunately, economically effective alternatives to most uses of agrochemicals have not yet been discovered. Consequently, modern agricultural industries will continue to rely heavily on the use of agrochemicals to manage their problems of fertility, soil quality, and pests. Well, students, this is enough for today. Let us summarize all which we have learned so far. Solid waste include all discarded, non-liquid materials from household, industrial, and commercial establishments, street, etc. that do not have value to the user. Is which garbage, kitchen waste, paper, fabric, plastic, wood, metals, hospital waste, rubber tires, automobile parts, crop residue, glass, broken or discarded household appliances, etc. included ਹਨ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ solid waste ਵਜੋਂ categorize ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। Solid waste ਨੂੰ ਦੋ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ classify ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ: rural solid waste and urban solid waste. Any waste which is generated in rural areas is known as rural solid waste. It contains food waste, animal waste, human waste, rubbish items, etc. Most of the waste is organic and biodegradable. Any solid waste or discarded item which is thrown to the garbage or dustbin in urban areas and it requires some treatment for decomposition is known as urban solid waste. Types of urban waste are industrial waste, domestic waste, municipal waste, constructional waste, hospital waste. Waste management is the collection, transport, processing, recycling or disposal of waste materials. Decomposition of various organic matters by mixed population of bacteria in the moist, warm and aerobic environment is known as composting. Incineration is the process of controlled combustion for burning of waste and residue containing combustible materials. Agrochemicals refer to the broad range of pesticides including insecticides, herbicides and fungicides. It may also include synthetic fertilizers, hormones and other chemical growth agents and concentrated stores of raw animal manure. So students, enough for today. Let us quickly check with some short questions what you have grabbed today. Be attentive. Here are some questions. The first question is, what are solid wastes? Answer. Solid waste include all discarded non-liquid materials from household, industrial and commercial establishments, streets, etc. that do not have value to the user. Next question. List two types of solid waste. Answer. Solid waste can be classified into two types: rural solid waste and urban solid waste. Next question. What is waste management? Answer. Waste management is the collection, transport, processing, recycling or disposal of waste materials. The next question is, name the process in which mixed population of bacteria in the moist, warm and aerobic environment are used to decompose the organic waste. Answer. Composting is the process in which mixed population of bacteria in the moist, warm and aerobic environment are used to decompose the organic waste. My next question is, give definition of radioactive waste according to International Atomic Energy Agency. The answer is, radioactive waste is any material containing a concentration of radionuclides greater than those deemed safe by national authorities in materials appropriate for unchecked use and for which no use is foreseen. Students, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਅਗਲੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਨਵੇਂ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਿਰ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ। ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਲਈ ਬਾਏ।